Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. Before we get into the reading, I just want to mention that I do have a few new services available, a couple new offerings. I'm going to leave the information in the description box below. You can click on the link and, again, read more into it to see if it's something that speaks to you. Also, this, of course, is a general reading, so if you would like a personalized reading, then of course book some time with me and we'll take a deeper dive into your own personal energies. Okay, so as always, first we're going to look at the energy for the collective. And remember, when I say collective, that includes you, that includes me. We're all part of the collective. So when I go over the collective energy, it's energy that has the potential to influence us individually as well as collectively. So it's actually really important information. So first I'll go through that for August, and then I will get into the specific life path forecast. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are looking at August 2021, and August ushers in a 13-4 cycle. So this is a 4 universal energy. So collectively and individually, we could all feel the influences of this energy in a myriad of ways. 13-4 energy, there's so much I can say about this energy, so I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, but there's just so much potentially to come in this month, so I want to make sure you're aware of it. So 13-4 energy is the vibration of the divine feminine and Mother Earth, okay? So kind of keep that in mind as we move through this reading. The divine feminine, of course, being an energy. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, we all have divine feminine and divine masculine energies from within. And there's also those divine feminine and divine masculine energies without. So just kind of keep that in mind. But 13-4 energy is the vibration of the divine feminine and Mother Earth. So at its core, this energy is very intuitive, very nurturing, and receptive energy. However, it's very nuanced in its layers, and you sort of need to sift through those layers to reach that vibration. And so what I mean by that is, think harmony through chaos or harmony through conflict. So yes, this is a very nurturing and supportive, beautiful energy, but it's also a bit of sort of tough love at first. This 13-4 energy will, in one way or another, show us exactly where our mess is and insist that we take responsibility for it and clean it up before we can essentially move forward. So it's like needing to do our chores first before we can go outside and play. So if there are deeds left undone within your life or faults within the foundation, this energy will highlight those areas and really push you towards sort of making the appropriate adjustments so that you don't remain in an unhealthy cycle. So this is a very practical, real-world, grounded energy. We are all sort of really looking at the tangibles here: relationships, career, actions, material goods, resources, laws, belief systems, structures, including our own personal structure, i.e. our body, mind, and spirit, right? So during a 13-4 cycle, we're really being faced with the polarities of our own personal experience, and we're being asked to find our own harmonious center within those polarities. So you may see things surface this month personally as well as on the global stage that, again, are those polarities, and we're being asked to find that center. So when you're faced with some kind of polarization that makes you feel off kilter or out of sorts energetically and physically, that is an indicator for you to work on finding the balance that equalizes the energy for you. Okay, you don't have control over the external, but you do have control over finding your own center and sort of internalizing and realizing what that feels like for you. And yes, you're probably going to fall off that, from that center many times, right? As you move forward. But at least you'll have an understanding of what that center feels like, and you can continue to find your way back to it. Finding your center will be personal for you and unique for every person, right? So it may take a little bit of trial and error, but basically that's where the work lies and where the energy is trying to steer you towards. So figuring out where that center is for you, okay, that's the work. So the nurturing, intuitive, loving, harmonious energy of this 13-4 cycle resides within that center space. So when you find that center, that's what's waiting there for you, right? And so, like I said, yes, we fall, on either side of that center, sometimes well beyond that center, many, many times throughout our lifetime, and as we continue to progress and move forward and evolve. But it's in finding that center and finding that harmony and that balance and those calm waters that we realize, again, what it feels like, and then how we start to understand the process of getting back to that center when we start to feel polarized again, okay? And that this 13-4 energy is going to assist you in doing that. So 13-4 cycles can initiate a karmic beginning of some kind or some kind of karmic conclusion. So 13-4 energy can be very karmic, basically. So again, you may see some kind of karmic situation initiated at this time, or some kind of karmic conclusion or ending. So you may find people or experiences entering or exiting your life at this time. If they're entering, then you will begin a cycle of sort of working towards clearing that karmic debt. And the challenges that you face at this time will assist you in that process. If you're ending a karmic cycle at this time, you may see an influx of rewards coming in your way, right? And that person or experience that was involved in that karmic, payment may exit your life, or you may feel the energy sort of shift to where it no longer feels quite so challenging or so much like work. So whether or not you believe in karma, our souls came here for growth and expansion, and the soul contracts that we have with others help to facilitate and at times accelerate that expansion. So you may see a soul contract be initiated or completed at this time. 13-4 energy is incredibly beautiful and supportive energy. I just want to reiterate that, especially in our evolution forward. It will, however, ask us to be very, very honest with ourselves when it comes to finances, resources, relationships, habits, mindsets, actions, and so on and so forth. So anything you've been trying to avoid up to this point could come in front and center of your awareness now to be dealt with, once and for all, or at least initiated. And, the beautiful aspect of 4 energy is that you will most certainly, most definitely get out of the experience whatever it is that you put into it. So you get to decide where within your life needs a little bit of tender loving care, needs some remodeling. This is a perfect cycle to begin, right? These energetic and these physical projects, this is a great energy, a great cycle to start those projects. So one final note I want to make is this is a great cycle to make time to truly ground yourself, to spend extra time in nature, and surround yourself with the many gifts and blessings of Mother Earth. Because again, this is her energy. This is her cycle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the individual life path forecast for August. Okay, life path number 3. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all to get an overall energy of the month. And it's interesting, you've got Badger spirit. And so the energy I'm feeling with Badger is, it's almost like this month could feel like you need to have your defenses up, that you need to protect something that you have created or something that you have invested in, something that's yours, that it may feel like others are coming in with a vengeance trying to take away from you. And so I think what you're really being asked here is to be mindful of how you approach these circumstances or these people. Like, there's times where you have to stand your ground and you have to, not play small and sort of bare your teeth a little bit to let people know that you have boundaries, and those boundaries are to be respected and adhered to. And it may be that those situations show up for you this month. But there's also times where some diplomacy could come into play, where you may have to be the bigger person and try to find a way to mediate the situation and sort of mitigate the energy. And so it's really going to be up to you how you choose to handle it, while standing your ground. But do you want to meet that aggression with aggression, or can you find a way to sort of neutralize the energy a little bit so that it's not as combative? And sometimes, we don't have control over other people, period. But we do have control over how we, express ourselves and how we show up to a situation, even when it's an antagonizing situation, right? And like just bring in the upheaval. So it could be really easy in that situation to get our own defenses up and show up with, force and aggression. And I just feel like in this situation, it feels like you have every right to protect whatever this is. And this could also be like an idea, like you want to do something and you're getting pushback from people who don't understand the idea, and they're trying to sort of dissuade you from doing it. And those are times too where you have to stand in your own integrity and stand up for what you believe in and what feels right for you. But there's also a level of how do you do that in a way that doesn't add fuel to the fire and just add to the aggression. So interesting energy with Badger. But I feel like, with Badgers, it's kind of like in the wild, they don't really mess with you unless you mess with them. And I just get this feeling like it's kind of like, and especially if they're protecting something. And so I feel like with this energy, it's kind of like you could kind of feel like everybody's sort of out to get you, or that everybody's sort of coming at you with their opinions or their, what they think you should do, or whatever the case may be. Or they're trying to talk you out of something that you feel really passionate about and that feels right for you. And so, just use your own discernment and decide how you want to respond to the situation, as opposed to how you want to react, right? And obviously feel out the situation. You'll know what will best serve you in the moment, so that you can, again, maintain your own integrity while also not adding fuel to the fire, if that's the case. But so some kind of like antagonistic energy kind of coming in this month, but I also feel like it's kind of pushing you to stand in your power, stand your ground, stand up for what you believe in, and stand up for your own truth. And yeah, just kind of like choose how you want to participate, basically. Okay, so then I broke the month down into 4 weeks, and the first week is interesting. I really see like this kind of unexpected offer coming in for you all. It feels very materialistic, but that also is emotionally fulfilling. It feels like it's on the physical plane, but also emotionally fulfilling. And so I feel like whatever this offer is has the potential to bring you a lot of financial stability, actually, or, resources that will create stability for you. But what's interesting, it's like this is also in direct proportion to the effort that you've put forth, which makes a lot of sense because we're in a 4 universal cycle, which, that's always the case in 4 energy. And so I do feel like you all could be seeing some rewards at this time for effort that you put forth that could be feel very rewarding on the physical plane. Or someone may come to you with an idea or an offer at this time that has the potential to bring you a lot of stability and security financially and through resources. So Yeah, I do feel like it's going to be something though that you have to say yes to and then put in effort for and then show up to and that sort of thing. I don't necessarily feel like it's like other people's money, like an inheritance or something like that. I feel like this is something that you have earned. So this is like earned income. So yeah, so beautiful energy at the beginning of the week. And this could be something too where it's like right now is the initiation of this, and so the offer comes in, but just understand the potentiality of it. So beautiful energy. For some of you, it could be that this is where the fruits of your labor come in a big way. So that's definitely possible as well. Second week, this is interesting because I'm kind of getting like this really kind of rigid energy of like you being like, this feels like your energy. This feels like, you know, the listener's energy or our energy, right? It feels like you're very rigid in, like you've made a decision and you're standing by that decision and there's no way you're changing your mind. And meanwhile, all these opportunities are passing you by because you're just like, nope, this is what I'm doing. And I'm really getting the feeling like there's a call here for a change in perspective, or at least being open to other ideas, other options, other opportunities, because I feel like there's like this wealth of opportunity, wealth of fulfillment, wealth of joy, all these things all happening in the background while you're standing there with your arms folded like, nope, this is what I said I'm going to do, so I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's the hard way, I'm going to do it. When really there's an easier way. And it's just a matter of like, you know, turning around and being open to everything that you see and figuring out how you want to incorporate or what you want to incorporate into your experience. But I'm definitely getting this feeling like, you know, and this really feels like a pride thing, if I'm being honest. It's kind of like you said you were going to do something and then realized that it was really difficult or hard to do and not really what you want to do. And somebody is offering to help you or assist you or give you another option or idea. And you are like, nope, this is what I'm doing because this was my idea, and so I'm going to stick with it. And I just feel like that could burn you a little bit. And so not saying that you're not going to accomplish whatever it is you're setting out to do, I just think there's an easier way, and the easier way can be uncovered through a different perspective. And sometimes those different perspectives come through the wisdom and experiences of other people. So I would just say at this time, be open to the messages that come in from others at this time. It doesn't mean that you have to take every little piece and do exactly as they're telling you to do. They're not meant to be in control of your experience, but there is wisdom in their own experiences and their own advice and you know, what they're sharing with you. So, and it could be coming from someone who you really don't want to let know that they're right. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that pride thing. And so I just feel like this is going to be a time where you can stick to your guns, but things could be a little bit challenging for you at this time if you choose to do that, as opposed to if you're like, okay, well, let me just entertain these other ideas. Let me just explore what these people are saying and see what works for me. And can I do this in an easier way? Okay. And so that's interesting because I'm also reminded of like Badger energy, and it's kind of like, you know, that kind of like pride, standing in your power is that sort of aggressive energy I was talking about. So it's kind of like that could be your energy where it's like, you're like, nope, these people are coming in to help me, but I'm going to stand in my own pride and do it my way, even though your way might be the harder way, you know? So anyway, okay. Third week. This is interesting because I see something coming in for you all energetically that is going to sort of stir things up for you. Like, I feel like you're kind of like, there's an area within your life you might be very complacent right now. And I feel like whatever this energy that is coming in feels very disruptive, but in a way that it's going to like knock you out of your comfort zone, but in a good way. So it's kind of like, again, it's kind of like you've just gotten really like used to the mundane, or you're just, again, stuck in that comfort zone of, nope, this feels good. I'm okay with this. I'm getting by, even though I don't feel fulfilled or whatever the case may be. And then I see like this sort of like disruptive energy coming in to stir things up, to stir the pot, to be like, nope, there's more for you. So let's go find it, because whatever this is great. It's served you well up to this point, but there's more for you out there. So let's go find it. Definitely feeling that energy coming in really quickly and abruptly. So again, this could be something that someone says to you. This could be like someone shows up in your life that just turns your whole world upside down, but in a good way in the long run. For a lot of people, I see this as or those in the spiritual community, I see this as like a wicked spirit, like really intense spiritual awakening. For some, this could be like a Kundalini awakening or rising or something like that, right? That's the kind of energy that looks like it's like you're in your comfort zone, you're just moving along and you're in the mundane, and then all of a sudden something comes in and just, like a hurricane and just shifts everything. So it sounds really intense and a little scary, but it's not. It's really like I said, it might feel a little uncomfortable in the moment because you were all warm and snuggly in that comfort zone. And then all of a sudden, whatever this is comes in and just, turns your whole world upside down, but in a good way. That's what I mean. It's like in an intense way, but in a way that's like shifting the energy and getting the energy flowing again and helping you to move forward. So this is actually a really beautiful energy, even though it might not feel that way in the moment, because nobody likes to be, disrupted when they're enjoying their warm, cozy comfort zone. So however that shows up for you all, but I definitely feel like it's disruptive in some way. And, for some, it might be like you lose your job or you get a divorce or, it could come in a myriad of ways, but it's like that kind of disruption where it's like you're now forced to shift gears. You're forced to change direction, which with this energy feels like a good thing. Like it's for your higher good, right? It's going to serve you in the long run. So, but it's not always easy in the moment. Okay, 4th week. This is interesting energy as well, because I'm definitely getting like someone or something is coming in for you at this time. You just have to be open to it. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's kind of like, you'll be like aware of whatever this is or whoever this is. But again, it's like, I'm really getting this energy for you all this month around pride, like really being stuck in your ways and not being open to other ideas, other perspectives, other experiences. And I feel like this 13-4 energy is really trying to shift you out of that. And that's what I mean when I say like 13-4 energy can really feel aggressive at times, but it's in that aggressiveness where, it's helping you to shift out of your comfort zone and out of the things that are making you feel stagnant. So I feel like at the end of the month, someone or something could come in for you that could be very, very emotionally fulfilling. But if you're too stuck in your ways, or you are too stuck in your pride or too hyper-focused on something and doing it your own way, it's not necessarily that you're going to miss this person, but you could just sort of blow them off or disregard them or whatever the case may be, which would be unfortunate because I feel like this person or this thing, whether it's a job or whatever, could hold a lot of potential for you and in unlocking your greater potential, your own greater potential of standing in your power and using your wisdom and pulling from your past experiences and all of that thing. But I feel like the gift that the universe is trying to give you at this point is coming in through maybe a mentor or a healer or some kind of leader or something like that, or someone you look up to potentially, or someone you don't look up to, but that has a big impact on your life, if that makes sense. Because remember, sometimes some of our greatest teachers, even though they're toxic and unhealthy in this lifetime to be with physically, sometimes our greatest teachers are the ones that really challenge us or trigger us to do that inner work and whatnot. And so this may be a situation where somebody is like, again, we go back to the intro when I talked about that 13-4 energy being very karmic. Okay, I think that's what this is for you all at this time. This is definitely what this is. So again, it's a general reading, so it's not going to be for everyone, but this is definitely a karmic soulmate coming in for you at this time. or like, again, a soul that has a contract with you to help you to progress forward. And that's not always comfortable. So a lot of times it's very uncomfortable. But the acceleration and the expansion that occurs because of that is immense. And so your soul is like, yeah, we're doing this type thing. So this is interesting because I almost feel like, we have that free will, but, at some point the universe keeps sending these people and we just feel compelled to invite them in. It's kind of like if you think back to all of the soulmates and all of the karmic experiences with other people that you may have had, like before that happens, you're like, oh, I have free will. I would say no to whatever that is. But when it actually, that person comes in, that soul contract sort of overrides everything. It's like, no, this is happening. This is very destined. This has got to happen type thing. And so it's like you become almost a different person and you feel completely compelled to invite this person in to your experience. And then through that invitation comes the experiences of clearing up that karma or, learning those soul lessons or whatnot. And so I definitely see this coming in at the end of the month for some of you. And it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. Like I see whoever this is coming in for you as, a very divine teacher. Even if the experience might feel uncomfortable, this person is meant to teach you something, to help your soul to expand in this human form. So, and this is a gift from the universe, whether it feels like it or not. So again, not a bad thing, not to like scare you, but it's definitely like, that 13-4 energy of that sort of karmic experience. For some of you, you may be closing a karmic experience out where it's like, you're done with that. And that's, I'm not going to go too much into that because that's not the energy that I'm seeing. So if that's the case for you, then great. This isn't for you then, this part of the reading. But for those of you who, are entering into another karmic cycle to clear that karmic cycle, or to clear that past karma or a soul contract from the past that's coming in for you, this is definitely the start of that cycle, I think, around that 4th week. So pay attention to who comes in for you. And like I said, I just don't think there's any avoiding it. I think when there's a soul contract in place, that is above and beyond anything on this physical plane. And so it's like the circumstances all sort of conspire to just make it happen. And like I said, if you look back at all of your relationships that you've had in this lifetime, when those relationships enter, there is this attraction or this sort of like, I don't know, you just feel compelled to this person. So, pulled to this person in some way or another, and that ignites the experience. So I see that sort of coming in for some of you at that 4th week. And again, it's actually truly a beautiful thing. It's what your soul came here for. So this month looks really powerful for you all. I just see it as like an opportunity this month to let your guard down a little bit. Definitely stand up for what you believe in, stand up for your truths, but don't be so rigid that you exclude all of the wisdom trying to come into you and all of the gifts and all of the opportunities because you're too rigid in your ways, right? And also, I definitely see some disruption happening in your flow this month, but all for good, leading you to a really powerful opportunity down the road. So anywho, I hope that it's a beautiful August for you all. I think it's going to be a pretty powerful one. But like I said, all for your highest good. And I think you'll look back at this time and be like, dang, that was powerful, but man, I'm so glad it happened. Anyway, all right. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.